We can all agree that this summer is already a scorcher, and in today's checklist, we are talking about how to stay safe and cool in this record-breaking heat. NBC News medical contributor Dr. Natalie Azar is here to break down what we need to know. Good morning, Dr.
Good morning.
Azar.
Good to see you all.
So what should we be looking out for to see if someone is experiencing a heat-related illness?
Yep, so think about it. Our heat intolerance is basically when we're heating up faster than we can sweat to cool ourselves down. And it basically goes kind of in succession, a little bit of a continuum, starting with first and foremost, heat cramps, which is kind of self-explanatory, some achiness in your muscles, even some stomach pain. So what we do to treat heat cramps so that we don't progress to heat exhaustion, move into a cool place, start hydrating, take off as much clothing as you can, use cool cloths, and start stretching your muscles slowly. If you don't do that, you're going to progress to heat exhaustion. That can include things like headache and nausea and vomiting. Your temperature is going to be about 100.4 or higher, wow. And you're going to do all the same things. And then look at the bottom one, and I want our viewers to see this. If you're feeling symptoms of heat exhaustion and you're not getting better, you might want to consider calling 911 and going to the emergency room, because the next phase is something called heat stroke. And in the difference between heat exhaustion and heat stroke, I really want people to understand. With heat exhaustion, you're still sweating. Once you hit the heat stroke, you're really not. Your skin's going to feel kind of dry and kind of pale and almost clammy. And the most important thing is you're going to be kind of confused and agitated. So you may not even be able to take care of yourself. You're still moving to a cool place. You're calling 911. You're doing all of these things. And the last thing I want to point out, can you give someone who you think has heat stroke water only if they're lucid and they're awake?
Really?
Can you give them, yeah, because obviously, right, if you're like, you don't want them to aspirate.
So let's try to get ahead of this. We've got this hot weather. What do we do in this to try to avoid getting to this?
Well, you know, we say this a lot, and I'm going to remind everybody, once you're thirsty, it's already a little bit too late. You've already reached the point where you're dehydrated. So especially if you know you're going to be out and about during the day outside, start drinking water as soon as you get up in the morning. You want to also move to cool places, like plan things indoors, stay in the air conditioning, go to movies. You want to limit exercise outside, obviously, wear sunscreen because we don't want to get that sunburn, and keep outdoor activities to a minimum in the middle of the day between 10 and 2. Keep it to early morning or late in the evening.
So many of our kids are at summer camp. They're playing outside. In fact, we send them outside. What do we need to keep in mind for the kiddos?
So one thing that I think is really important, not only are kids out and about and they're having fun, and they're not going to say, ooh, I feel thirsty, I need to drink. That's our job to do that. But kids adjust more slowly to the heat than we do as adults. They're not as efficient, actually, in handling and regulating their temperature. They produce more heat with activity, and they sweat less. So you guys are the ones, we are the ones who need to say, you know, every 30 to 45 minutes, take them out, give them some fluid, and make sure that they get in the shade before they also progress to heat exhaustion and heat stroke.
What about our furry friends? What about our pets, dogs, cats?
And thank you for reminding us all of this, Craig. It is so important. Well, also, we have the infants in the heat, and I want to make a quick point about infants. No water under 6 months, just FYI. They do formula and all of that kind of stuff. Never leave oh, now we're back to infants. It's fine. We basically don't leave your children alone in the car. Vicky said this the other week, and I thought it was brilliant. Put your own cell phone in the back seat so you know, or the American Academy of Pediatrics says, put your child's stuffed animal or little blankie in the front seat so you're reminded that you have a kid in the, you know, we say that as a joke. We've all been there, right? We can be very distracted. For pets in heat, it's the same thing. Never leave them in a parked car for even a minute. Limit your walks. If it's 90 degrees or higher, you don't want them walking in the middle of the day. Walk on grass for their paws, and always provide shade, and carry those little bottles of water with your babies. They can also get dehydrated. Yeah, it makes me really sad.
Really quick, Nat, you mentioned infants. Do older people have to be a little more worried about this?
100%. And so we always talk about the very young and the very old being more vulnerable. Older adults also have difficulty regulating their temperature. So if you have a neighbor who's elderly, if you have parents or loved ones, check on them.
We got to keep you hydrated.
That's right.
Oh, my gosh.
That's right. That's all right.
You did not.
I'm representing for all the older folks out there. Hey, let's just see if you make it, okay?
Yeah. Al always throws in those.
I hear Grandma talking back
older
to the TV
adult
now.
questions.
Well, we appreciate you so much, Dr.
Thanks, Doc. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.